Have you ever noticed how some people become instantly uncomfortable the moment someone compares them to another person? Maybe a parent says, "Why can't you be more like your brother?" Or a teacher says, "Look at how well she did. You should learn from her." And suddenly, the mood changes. Their face tightens. Their energy drops. Sometimes they even become defensive. To outsiders, it may look like pride, ego, or stubbornness, but psychology says something deeper is happening. Because people who hate being compared to others often share certain powerful psychological traits. Here's the psychology behind it. Number one, they value individuality more than approval. Some people are wired to follow the crowd, but others have a strong internal identity. Psychology calls this a high sense of self-concept. When you compare them to someone else, it feels like you're ignoring who they truly are. Instead of seeing their unique path, you're measuring them with someone else's ruler. And to them, that feels unfair, because they don't want to become someone else. They want to become the best version of themselves. Number two, they are highly self-aware. Highly self-aware people already know their strengths and their weaknesses. They constantly analyze themselves. So when someone compares them to another person, it feels unnecessary, even insulting, because in their mind, they're already working on themselves. Psychologists link this to emotional intelligence. The more aware someone is of their inner world, the less they want external judgments defining them. Number three, they may have experienced painful comparisons growing up. For many people, the hatred of comparison begins in childhood. Maybe parents constantly compared them to siblings. Maybe teachers compared them to smarter classmates. Over time, these comparisons create emotional wounds. Psychology connects this to something called social comparison stress. When comparisons happen too often, the brain starts associating them with rejection and shame. So, later in life, even small comparisons can trigger strong reactions, not because they are weak, but because the memory of those feelings still exists. Number four, they prefer internal motivation. Some people are motivated by competition, but others are driven by something deeper, internal standards. Psychology calls this intrinsic motivation. They don't want to succeed because they're better than someone else. They want to succeed because they improved themselves. When someone compares them to others, it shifts the focus from growth to rivalry, and that kills their motivation. Number five, they dislike unfair judgments. Comparisons often ignore one important truth. Everyone's life circumstances are different. Different upbringing, different struggles, different opportunities. People who hate comparisons usually understand this deeply, and that's why they reject simple comparisons. Because they know life is not a straight race. It's a completely different path for everyone. Number six, they have strong boundaries around their self-worth. Some people allow others to define their value, but people who hate comparisons often protect their self-esteem carefully. They refuse to let someone else's success make them feel smaller. Psychologists connect this to self-worth independence. Their confidence comes from within, not from ranking against others. So when someone tries to compare them, it feels like an attack on their identity, and they shut it down immediately. Number seven, they focus on progress, not competition. The healthiest mindset in psychology is called self-referenced growth. This means measuring yourself against your past self, not against others. People who hate comparisons usually live by this philosophy. Their question is not, "Am I better than someone else?" Their question is, "Am I better than who I was yesterday?" And that mindset often leads to deeper fulfillment. So the next time someone reacts strongly to being compared to others, remember this. It's not always ego. It's not always pride. Sometimes it's simply a person protecting their individuality, their growth, and their self-worth. Because in a world obsessed with comparison, some people choose something far more powerful: self-understanding. And if you found yourself relating to these traits, you're definitely not alone. Subscribe for more psychology insights about human behavior, personality, and the hidden patterns that shape how we think, act, and live.